Title: The night I followed the lights. They say curiosity can be dangerous. But that night, my curiosity led me to something I could never forget. My name is Emma. I grew up in a small coastal town where nothing ever really changed. The same streets, the same sea breeze, the same neighbors who knew everything about everyone. But there was one thing that always felt like a mystery to me: the old abandoned lighthouse on the edge of the cliffs. Locals said it hadn't worked in decades, ever since a terrible storm took a ship and its crew. Some whispered that the lighthouse was cursed, others said it was haunted by the souls lost that night. But to me, it was just a quiet monument to stories I'd never hear. One evening in early autumn, I was walking my dog along the shore when I noticed something that stopped me in my tracks: a faint light flickering at the top of the lighthouse. At first, I thought it must be a reflection or some kids playing a prank. But the light seemed to steady, to deliberate. Against my better judgment, I decided to go closer. As I climbed the narrow, broken path up the cliff, I felt my heart pounding, partly from the steep climb, partly from fear. The lighthouse door, long rusted shut, now stood slightly ajar, as if inviting me in. I hesitated. My dog, Max, whined softly beside me, but something stronger than fear pulled me forward. Inside, the air smelled of damp stone and salt. I carefully stepped over debris, my flashlight cutting through the darkness. The spiral staircase loomed ahead, winding up into shadows. And there, above, I saw the light again, dancing just out of sight. Step by step, I climbed. My foot slipped once, sending a small rock clattering below, echoing like a gunshot. My heart raced, but I kept going. At the top, the room was empty, or so I thought. The glass windows were dirty but intact, and in the center stood an old lantern, its flame flickering. And beside it, to my shock, stood a man. He looked about my age, dressed in an old-fashioned coat that seemed decades out of style. His hair was damp, his face pale, but his eyes seemed both relieved and desperately sad. "Who are you?" I whispered. He smiled faintly. "I could ask you the same, but thank you for coming." I took a step back, my pulse hammering. "Coming? I just saw the light. I needed someone to see it," he interrupted gently. "Someone to remember." I noticed then the air around him felt strangely cold, and though the lantern burned brightly, it gave no warmth. Are you real?" I asked, my voice trembling. He nodded slowly. "As real as a memory can be. I've been waiting a long time, hoping someone might come." I swallowed hard, my throat dry. "Waiting for what?" "For someone to hear the truth," he said. I was the lighthouse keeper's son. That night, the night of the storm, I was supposed to keep the lamp burning. But I fell asleep. When I woke, it was too late. The ship crashed. My father was blamed, though had gone to town for supplies. Unable to bear the guilt, he ended his life here. His voice broke. I've been trapped in this moment ever since. The truth never spoken, my father never forgiven. My heart ached for him, for the boy who had made a mistake and paid for it beyond anything fair. "Why now?" I asked. "Why did I see the light?" "Because you were willing to look," he whispered. "Most people see what they want to see. But you followed the light." Tears welled in my eyes. "What can I do?" "Tell them," he said softly. "Tell anyone who'll listen. Free him from the shame." I nodded. "I promise." His expression softened, the sadness lifting just a little. "Thank you," he whispered. And then, as quickly as had appeared, he began to fade, the lantern dimming until it was only my flashlight lighting the room. I stood there a long time, trying to understand what had just happened. Then, with shaking hands, I made my way back down, Max following silently by my side. The next morning, I went to the town's historical society and told them everything. They were skeptical at first, but records confirmed that the lighthouse keeper had indeed been blamed, though there were inconsistencies no one could explain. Weeks passed. An article ran in the local newspaper, finally telling the real story. And on the anniversary of the wreck, Townspeople left flowers at the lighthouse in memory of the keeper. I don't know if it was enough to free him, but sometimes on quiet nights, when the sea mist rolls in, I think I see a faint light at the top of the lighthouse, steady, gentle, almost like a thank you. And every time I see it, I remember the lesson of that night. Some truths wait for years to be told. And sometimes all it takes is one person willing to listen.